Hey, yo, what up, though, ladies and gentlemen? Back at it again with Rap Relive with your boy Flanoy, where we talk about black music culture from a Gen Z perspective. Now, today, as you see by the title, we're going to be talking about this XXL freshman list and how it's been slowly losing value to the fans and to the artists as the years go by. Now, as a brief explanation of what the XXL freshman cover is, starting in 2007, XXL started putting out this list of what you could call the next artist to watch out in the industry. Now, we know a rapper being on a freshman list don't necessarily mean that they're actually a freshman to the game of rapping. I mean, we just saw in the latest XXL freshman list, we had Babyface Ray on there. You know, he from Detroit, I'm from Detroit, you see on the hat. We've been knowing about Babyface Ray for like damn near 10 years. He been rapping since, first thing I could think of is back in 2012. You know, he started with Team Eastside and then moved into his solo career. So by no means is he a freshman to the actual game of rapping. But when it comes to being in the industry, dealing with other major artists on other major record labels, yeah, you could consider him a freshman. So obviously sometimes these rappers that they have on the list are more underground or maybe not as known nationwide, but maybe just locally, or sometimes they're already on that path to stardom. Now with that, of course, with the territory, some of these artists, they do that XL freshman cover list and they fall back into irrelevancy. Or, you know, some of them blow up and become hip hop superstars like a Travis Scott, Kendrick Lamar, Lil Uzi, the list goes on. Now, we know over the years, the XXL freshman list has been losing its value in the world of rap culture. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying that the list has no value at all anymore. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that even though millions of people still tune in for it every year, it doesn't hit the same. You know, we used to come every June, we used to wait on that XXL freshman list. We used to want to see who was on it. We used to be eager to see the freestyles, eager to see the ciphers, the interviews, all of that. It's not really like that no more. And I would say this started around 2018 at the peak of, I guess, what the community likes to call the mumble rap era, even though I necessarily don't like to call it that. But that was like the peak of the mumble rap era. And that's when these XXL freshman lists kind of started not being so important to the culture. Now, I believe the decline in the value of the list is a testament to the direction of rap culture, at least as it is right now. Now, we know culture, certain aspects of culture can come and spin back around. So it could be some elements from the 90s that might come back in the next decade or two. We never know. But before I get into the actual reasons as to why the list is losing its value, I want to make it clear that I'm never going to be that guy who's observing the culture through a hater's lens or through an old head lens. Like I said, I'm Gen Z, so my perspective is from a Gen Zer. You know, when I say the direction of rap culture, I'm not saying it's on a decline or on a bad direction. I'm just strictly referring to the direction that it's going in, whether it be considered good, bad, indifferent. That's subjective to the individual and what era they in, what era they appreciate the most, what elements they look for in rap music. So don't get it mistaken. I'm not talking about it's going in a negative direction, it's falling off the cliff. I'm just talking about the direction, period. Now, personally, why I believe the XXL freshman list is losing value is mainly because of one thing. I guess you could say two, but one big thing. They still use the freestyles and the ciphers as the main showcase of the artist's talent. Now, let me explain to you why the freestyles and the ciphers, mainly the ciphers, is not a good representation of artist talent in rap culture anymore, at least not for a lot of the artists coming into the list. So as much as I personally love ciphers, I especially love the freestyles, it'd be disingenuous if I didn't admit that those expressions of rap and rap abilities are not suitable for a great deal of the rappers that's out today. This even goes more for the cipher, like I would say even times 10 when we talking about the cipher. When I think about a cipher, right, me personally, when I hear that word rap cipher, when I see dudes in a circle rapping, when I see videos of it online, when I hear about a cipher coming up at an award show or on Instagram, I'm thinking of a form of rap that's much more heavily focused on the rapper's ability to show how they a wordsmith or how they can deliver bars so hard that it's gonna give me that nasty face. Like I hear something crazy and I'm like, damn, that was hard as hell. Or, you know, how the rapper could use the flow and rhyme schemes and technicality to get me really reeled into their lyrical world and their lyrical character, right? At the bare minimum though, what a cipher is a much more traditional expression of rap that requires a baseline of traditional rap elements for it to really be entertaining to listen to and to watch. And also for it to really give the listener or the viewer a real feel for the rappers delivering in the cipher. You feel me? In today's rap culture, rap music doesn't necessarily have a specific list of elements that artists use anymore. Back in the day, there was certain criteria that rappers had to meet for the audience listening to them or watching their videos, watching their ciphers, to really consider that artist a rapper. These days, that term rapper is used very loosely, and it's not so much a set criteria that they have to abide by anymore. So when these artists who make music and rap with elements that don't necessarily align with the elements of a typical cipher, it does two things. So the first thing it does is it hurts the image of the actual cipher. And it does this because a lot of rap fans, especially of my generation or maybe the younger millennials, and then especially younger than me, it's easy for us to forget how powerful a good cipher can really be. When you got real rappers who may consider themselves MCs who might be in the cipher, really showcasing their rapping ability. Or even for, the people younger than me, the people who might be 10 years old, 11 years old, 12, 13. They might not even know what a good cipher really looks like. And so they watch the XXL freshman list cipher and they hearing that and like, oh, this is what a cipher is? Okay, that's cool. They never really seen a powerful cipher that really just make you appreciate not only rap culture, but hip hop. Like, you listen to it and you like, damn, this is some real lyricism. This is real delivery. This is hip hop. Not just rap, but it's hip hop. So that's the first thing it does. The second thing it does is it misrepresents a lot of the rappers who are participating in these XXL freshman ciphers. And I mentioned this previously, but to get more in depth, there's a lot of rappers who make music that I personally love a lot, right? And a lot of y'all might love them as well. But they end up participating in this XXL freshman cipher and it sound like straight up garbage. And you can't even expect much more from that artist because when you listen to them, you listen to their music is not built on a foundation of lyricism and technicality and this real harsh delivery of certain rhyme schemes and delivering syllables in a certain pattern. It ain't like that. Their music is going to be built on how hype they could get the audience, the sound, how it make you feel, maybe even blend it into the beat as an artist. Somebody like Gunna who really can manipulate his voice to sound like he just riding the wave of the beat where they almost seem like one and the same. My favorite example of this is the Playboi Carti cipher. Playboi Carti, one of my favorite artists, and I love his music and I think he's the best at what he does, which could really be a whole video on its own. But that 2017 freshman cipher that he had was terrible. The cipher was terrible, freestyle was terrible, all of that was trash. And it's not like I thought anything was gonna come better from it because I know Playboi Carti. Even in 2017, before he was stepping into his whole lot of red bag with more of the rock star, like vampire theme he been on lately. Even before that, I knew Carti wasn't about to step on no freestyle and go crazy. He for sure not about to step in no cipher and go crazy. That's just unrealistic to expect from him. But that misrepresents him because his music was hard. His music was cold. He was carving out a whole different lane that could be made in rap music that a lot of dudes tried to feel and failed. So obviously, it's not that Carti doesn't have musical talent, but his talent is definitely not built for something like a goddamn cipher. You get what I'm saying? And so when you have artists coming on who know that they not made for a cipher, they know they not made for a freestyle, it's only gonna make them not want to do it and not put a lot of effort into it. And as viewers, as listeners, as appreciators of the culture, it's hard for us to care more about the cipher than the rappers are gonna care. When they care to a certain degree, we can only care so much. Because if I see the rapper obviously ain't trying, they seem disinterested, they seem like they're really just there because they got a beat, they just want the exposure and that's it, I'm not really gonna be into it like that. And I'm sure it's probably the same for you as well. So now moving on, I have one idea that they could use to maybe replace the cipher. Now, I'm not the greatest, most creative dude when it comes to coming up with different ideas to replace old things with new things. But my idea is this, right? I'm thinking instead of a cipher, right? XXL could take these rappers who they consider freshmen and they should have them do songs. Like instead of that cipher environment, let's give them a studio session. That's something that I, as a fan personally, would love to watch because I love to watch rappers, or even not even just rappers, but artists in general, in the stew, in their element, songwriting, rapping, singing in the booth, whatever, putting on ad-libs, it could be whatever. I love watching artists in the studio doing their thing, creating their art. And that's just me, but I know a lot of y'all probably feel the same. Y'all probably be looking up, insert rapper's name in studio, insert R&B artist name in studio, insert producer in studio. You get what I'm saying? We all kind of share that love for watching an artist actually create the art that we listen to on a daily basis. Now, I could understand that this is a far-fetched idea for a few reasons, but the main reason it comes to my mind is that a studio session is a much more artistically intimate space rather than doing a cypher. You know, a cypher, they just got the open space. They got the DJ in the back playing the beats, doing scratches, whatever he may doing or she may be doing. And the rappers are just out, they spit their verse, they stand back, they might bob their head, might add a couple ad-libs to the other rappers' verses and whatnot. But a studio session, that could be a very intimate space for certain artists. And certain artists may not just want to share that space with anybody. You know, even though XXL, they already try to put certain artists with each other when it comes to the ciphers that are going to sound more similar. You know, they're not going to put like the lyrical rappers with the rappers who make music for the hype, for the parties. They wouldn't mash them together. They just don't do that. And I appreciate that from them. They could do the same thing with the studio sessions. You know, maybe take, you know, you got your artists who make the real hype music, put them in the stew. You got your lyrical rappers, put them in the stew, give them the beats, or maybe give them a selection of beats to pick from. And they could be in their actual element. And we could see what it's like for them to actually showcase their talent rather than trying to force them into this box where they got to feel like they got to perform a certain way. And if they don't feel like performing that certain way, then we just getting a lackluster performance from it. We not really learning nothing about these freshmen if we don't know who they are. You get what I'm saying? So I would respect the artist's opinion on that much more than anything else. I would never want to force an artist to be in a booth, be in a studio with other creators who maybe it's not that they don't like them, but maybe they just don't like sharing their space with other rappers or other R&B artists who they just didn't specifically choose for them to be in there. You know, they didn't say, I want to make a song with this person. I want to make a song with that person. They put up the XXL when XXL said, all right, we're going to group y'all into a stew. We're going to group y'all into a stew. And you two, we're going to put y'all two into a stew as well. Say that 5 times fast. But if this were to happen, I think replacing the cypher with a studio session would be a much better representation of the artist and garner much more interest from my generation of fans and going down, you know, because as the generations go, you know, rap is a young man and a young woman's game. You know, you can't always just abide by the older generation standards of what XXL freshmen should be able to do. You know, I could understand and respect the perspective of some old heads who may say, well, you know, if a rapper called themselves a rapper, they should be able to get on the cypher and show out. They should be able to go on a freestyle and show out. And I understand that, but things change, times change. What rappers do behind the mic changes over time as well. So I think my generation will better understand that it's better to abide by the artist if we want to benefit the artist and benefit the fans rather than trying to maintain tradition. You get what I'm saying? We 15 years into this XXL freshman list thing. What they was doing 15, even 10, even 5 years ago is not the same thing we should be doing today, and especially 5, 10 years into the future if you want to keep these lists going and gain more interest from the fans like we had at one point in time. But that's the topic for the day, man. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.